Are you new to the quarterback position? Or maybe you just want to build your knowledge? In this video series, QB101, we're going to be covering all the basics that you need to know. We'll be breaking down a whole bunch of different topics to not only help you succeed in the quarterback position, but to make sure you have fun doing it. A vital part of playing the quarterback position is understanding clock management. If you're new to the sport or new to the position, you might not have had your coaches go through what they want you to do in certain situations because it doesn't come up in every game, but when the game is on the line, it's really important you understand. And to save you from having your coach coming over from the sideline and screaming at you at the end of the game because you did something wrong and you not knowing what you did wrong, check out this video and we'll help you out. So let's talk about what stops the clock, all right? So in nine-a-side football in Western Australia, the clock is always running, right? It's always running. What stops the clock is within the 2-minute warning. So 2 minutes before halftime and the 2 minutes before the end of the game, the rules for the clock change, all right? So they can be stopped. What will stop the clock is throwing an incompletion. If you run the ball and they step out of bounds before they are tackled in bounds, that will stop the clock. And if you throw a completion to a receiver and they step out of bounds before they are tackled in bounds, then the clock will stop. All right, so incompletions and stepping out of bounds will stop the clock. All right, so it's really going to depend on whether you are up or you're down. So if you are ahead, you want to chew up as much clock as possible. You don't want to give the other team any time to score at the end of the game. If you're behind, of course, you want to utilize as much time as you can. All right, so we call this the 2-minute drill or the no huddle offense. All right, it doesn't really matter. It's the same thing. It's about going fast and being efficient with time. The first thing you need to do is make sure you do this all at practice. If you don't practice a no huddle offense, you won't be able to execute on game day. And if you only practice one time or have one little discussion about it, it's not going to work. All right, let's say you practice your no huddle offense one day, and then in 6 weeks' time, you actually need it in the game. Well, if your left tackle wasn't at that practice, your left guard wasn't there, they're not going to know what's going on. All right, so it's important to practice it a little bit regularly so you have that skill in your back pocket. So what I recommend is have single word plays that the whole offense knows. So let's say you have a 4-vert and you call it Utah. All right, that means we've got pass protection and it's 4 goes from your receivers. All right. You might have another know how to play. It might be all slants, all right? And you might call that Alabama, all right? It doesn't matter what you're calling it as long as everyone on offense knows what you're doing, all right? The other important thing is when you're going no huddle offense, all right, you as the quarterback, you're in charge of everyone else. So you need to firstly make sure everybody can hear what you said. All right, so when I have single word plays, I make it a word that is unmistakable. Doesn't sound like another word. Doesn't sound like stop or any weird yelling word. It has to be like a 2 or 3 syllable word that is indistinguishable, that is distinguishable from other things people are yelling on the sideline. All right, so you need to make sure everyone hears what it is and everyone is set before we snap the ball. Everyone needs to be set and still for a whole second before you snap that ball. So if you're going fast and you're saying Utah and your line's lined up and they're all good to go and you snap the ball, but your wide receiver was taking a little bit longer because they were just jogging out there and they were still moving as the ball is snapped, well, you're going to be flagged for a false start, and then you're going to be 5 yards back. All right, so that's no good. So make sure everyone's set. That's important, all right? When you go no huddle, you want everyone to be fast, efficient, but not frazzled, all right? It's important that you convey that, all right? Again, in practice is a really good time to talk about that. Next one is the concepts that you want to call, all right? Now, you can run the ball, absolutely. If you have a strong run game, you can run the ball, but remember, if they're getting tackled in bounds, that clock is going to continue to run. So it's good to throw passes, preferably deep passes, because you want to take big chunks at a time, and passes that the receivers can run out of bounds, all right? That's the two things. So you can throw it in bounds, that's fine. you want to be taking big chunks of yards at a time. So two good concepts you can run. We're going our post and we're going our wheel, all right? If you throw the post and you complete it, all right, you're probably getting at least 8, 12, 15 yards. So that's a first down, all right? We're happy with that. We may be able to call a timeout. Now, I would like for you to discuss with your head coach or your offensive coordinator whether you're allowed to call timeouts or whether they're going to call the timeouts, all right? Don't get caught out on that. You will get screamed at, all right? Next one is the wheel, all right? If we're completing that, if that receiver caught the ball and they think they can score a touchdown, go and score the touchdown. Go and score. Go win the game. If they know they're going to get tackled, they might just run and step out of bounds, all right? Then they've stopped the clock and they've got this awesome 15-yard gain. Another concept, fade, 10-yard out, all right? If they complete the fade, you're getting 8, 15, 20 yards, maybe a chance to score. They can catch that ball. If they know they're going to get tackled, they're really close to the sideline. 10-yard out, they're getting that 10 yards and they can either turn it up, keep getting more yards, or step out of bounds, stop the clock, all right? So all of these, they're only taking, when they're stepping out of bounds, they're only chewing up about 8 seconds worth of clock, all right? So you've got 15 yards and you've only lost 8 seconds off the clock. So these are really great ways to get chunk yards in the no huddle offense. Now, keep in mind that they may be sending pressure. So if they're sending, a 5-person blitz, it's not likely you're going to have time for this wheel to get open, time for the 10-yard out to get open. So you may still have to call your regular quick game where you're throwing slants and whatnot. Okay, throw the slant, get the extra 5 yards, and then quickly call another play and go. All right, so you need to be a little bit dynamic. You need to understand what's going on. Are they blitzing? We need to get the ball out fast. Are they dropping back into coverage? All right, we have time to throw the ball into different spots. There's a lot going on when we go no huddle offense, but the more that you practice it, the more comfortable you're going to get and the better quarterback you're going to become. If you have any questions about clock management and running a no huddle offense, leave a comment, send me a message. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. I'm going to do a bunch of more videos on the no huddle offense because it's a great, fun way to play. You can get the defense kind of panicked and you can get lots of big yards. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and we'll see you in the next one.